Good morning and welcome to First Parish Brewster. Good morning. We are a Unitarian, Universalist, welcoming congregation of people of diverse philosophies and beliefs, people of various cultures and races, sexual orientations, gender identities, abilities, and socio-economic backgrounds. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your path, may this be a place of rest and restoration on your journey. I am Twinks, this morning happy to be welcoming you to the service, today with our interim music director, Kaiser Fern. Woo, we can celebrate, this is good. And our guest preacher, Karina Stroh. Karina has served First Parish Brewster, UU, as Administration and Finance Director for over 8 years. She grew up in Northwest Ohio and graduated from Ohio State University. Go Bucks. Go Bucks. Is that football? Yeah. It's not Patriots? No. Karina ran her own business for nearly 2 decades as a massage therapist and herbalist. She has 2 adult sons, Charlie and Phoenix, who grew up in our CYM program and on the beaches of Cape Cod. Gratefully, she lives in Eastham with her partner, 2 dogs, 2 cats, and many, many plants. Our services are recorded and available on our YouTube channel midweek. We do ask that all over the age of 4 mask while in our service. Please silence your cell phones. We ask that all wear your name tags or fill out a sticker name tag in an effort to be more welcoming. We also welcome and celebrate the noises, movements, and mirth that little ones bring to our services. Our services are typically 60 to 75 minutes long. If you need to leave before then, you're welcome to use the doors at the rear of the sanctuary. For those of you who may be first-time visitors this morning, welcome. Oh, that was a really Scottish this morning. This morning, welcome. Are there any visitors who would like to introduce themselves? Do we have any brave Teprid visitors? All right. Well, welcome, whoever you are. If you would like to learn more about First Parish, please fill out a welcome card. They should be on the pews in front of you, and you can place it into the offertory basket. Welcome on this morning, which we make sacred by our presence together. A big welcome to people streaming. We are so glad you are here. In community news announcements, we are so happy to announce the arrival of Eleanor Ann Clay. Yeah. We misplaced the confetti cannon, so I don't know. Imagine. Rev Jessica and Eleanor are doing well. Rev Jessica is wrapping up work this week and will begin her leave next weekend. I'm glad we got some laughter there. I hope Jessica's streaming. So she will be working this week, wrapping up next weekend. Local colleagues are covering pastoral care. After the service today, please join your First Parish Board at 11:30 in the sanctuary for a 6-month financial review. This will also be on Zoom, and the link is in your weekly angle. And please try and attend that. I know a 6-month financial review sounds not like the most exciting program, but what it is like the State of the Union, State of the Church. It's really interesting to hear what's going on and everything that it takes to run First Parish. So I really encourage you to stay. And next Sunday, you're invited to a service led by Carl Clare from UU Mass Action. Join them as they reflect on the importance of our UU values and social justice. All are welcome at 10 a.m. Following the service today, everyone is invited to the parish room for mask-optional coffee and conversation. Or you're welcome to socialize in the sanctuary with masks on. Welcome to our service today. It is so good to be together.
Lean, bend down, and get low. Come close. What do you have to show for yourself? Lean in. Let's begin again. Bow down. Try this soft-hearted. Whoa, miles and miles and miles. I'm a road map, baby. I'll take you back home with me one day. Whoa, miles, miles and miles and miles. Slow down and down. Say what I want to hear. Said I want you, said I love you. I've fixed up this old ride, crossed borders, swam the waters, and now I need you by my side. Said I want you, said I love you. I've fixed up this old ride, crossed borders, swam the waters, and now I need you by my side. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Need you by my side.
Good morning. It's so good to be here with you today. Just all you lovely people. The last time I was up here was when I was leaving on my sabbatical last July, and I can still feel the blessing that was given to me as I looked out onto the sanctuary with all your smiling eyes and outstretched hands. Whether you were there on that day or not, or maybe this is your first time today visiting, may you feel the love here at First Parish Brewster. We light this chalice this morning for all that we give one another by being present, listening deeply as an act of love. Love in the deepest sense of the word, the kind that is full of intention and effort, meaningful and messy, Let us heed that ever so gentle tug to pause before rushing to the next thing. Let us be brave and practice a wholehearted kind of love for each other and ourselves.
Before we begin this, I'm going to just invite a little tiny bit of practicing. There's some fun stuff. You can do a snap. You could do a clap. You don't need to look at anything. And you can do this. So we can all practice this. We're going to practice kind of the end of this song. It goes, remember what we came here for. What we came here for. And then you can tap yourself 4. So it's snap, remember what we came here for. 2 claps, 1, what we came here for. With some words, remember what we came here for. Remember what we came here for. 2 claps, what we came here for. Remember what we came here for. What we came here for. You got it. Okay. And now, let's all practice. We're going to just practice a kind of descending line. Ooh, just like that. Here we go. Ooh, one more time. And those two together, we're going to try those. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember what we came here for. What we came here for. And now you keep it up. All right, I think we practiced enough. You'll pick up the rest. Follow me.
I didn't get that.
That's okay. Just follow me. We were made for love. 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 Let's try all that. Here we go. We were made for love. 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 Remember what we came here for. It was not for hate. It was not for war. Because this isn't a war game, a more game, a sport game. If gimme is your name, there's too much to lose. We get confused, forget to choose a way that gets us to better. We've done this forever, but we don't remember. We're in this together. We were made for love. 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 Remember what we came here for. Hold on to this connection. It's all that we have. We've got the grace and vision from the sacred medicine. Transform the condition. It's a soul expedition. Listen, hearts in darkness in need of healing. Occupy and magnify the loving feeling. Can't name it, tame it, contain or explain it, but raise up the flame for it, because we were made for love. 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 Now the part we practiced over here. Remember what we came here for. What we came here for. We were made for love.
It's like that song was written for us. So we're going to say our affirmation, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to ask everybody on the west side, which is this side of the sanctuary, to face this direction, and everybody on the east side to face the other direction. So you're facing each other. Okay, and we're going to do a call and response. Everybody on the west side, which is this side, is going to say the first unitalicized lines, and the east side is going to say the italicized. So, we believe in love. Love is the doctrine of this church. We believe in truth. For truth is its sacrament. We believe in helping others.
And service is our prayer.
We believe in the sacredness of life.
To the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine.
Gosh, Twinks. Maureen just ate my apple. Is nothing sacred anymore? I mean, this is so awful. Of all days, today. Can you believe this? Can you believe this?
Told me that Maureen stole Karina's fruit salad. I think this one from the Whole Foods store. You know, those really expensive ones. Skip, guess what? Twinks told Tommy, who told me that Marina stole Karina's lunch. And Karina really hates her now. And isn't going to invite her to the party next week because they're so uncaring and disrespectful.
Twinks told Talia, who told Judy, who told me that Maureen stole Karina's birthday cake that she bought to share with everyone for lunch. Can you believe they did that? Isn't there a policy preventing this kind of behavior? I was planning to ask Maureen to my house for tea.
Favorite place on earth. Can you believe that?
What? No way. No. Let's go show Karina that we are on her side. Maureen should not get away with this totally insensitive act. Karina, I heard that your golden apple was stolen.
Exactly.
Whoa. You all do. I think there might be a better way to deal with conflict. Do you all not have some agreements? Or confidence or something, a doctrine of love, because this is not very loving.
Okay, let's try again.
Okay. Thanks, Daddy. My dad is the best. Amazing. And I would be upset too. Take a breath. I wonder if there's something we're missing about this situation. I know that Maureen has been accused of being a little self-absorbed sometimes. But they seem to be very committed to right relationships. Danny had a really good point, and we really teach our littles from this.
You just ate. And I'm feeling really upset because I planned that apple for my snack during meditation, and it's my service, and I really need the energy. And leading a service is really hard work, and I'm trying to do my best.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I left my apple there, and oh, here it is.
And on that note, we're going to sing our well-rehearsed in conflict resolution children and youth downstairs.
Donna Markava. May we learn to open in love so that all the doors and windows of our bodies swing wide open on the rusty hinges. May we learn to give ourselves with both hands, to lift each other on our shoulders, to carry another along. May holiness move in. Maybe feel your feet on the floor. And I'm going to ring this bowl 3 times and just listen to that sound. And then we're going to have some silence for a while. And then I'm going to ring it 3 more times to bring you back. Okay?
When Giving is All We Have by Alberto Rios. One river gives its journey to the next. We give because someone gave to us. We give because nobody gave to us. We give because giving has changed us. We give because giving could have changed us. We have been better for it. We have been wounded by it. Giving has many faces. It is loud and quiet. Big though small, diamond in wood nails. Its story is old, the plot worn, and the pages too. But we read this book anyway, over and again. Giving is, first and every time, hand to hand. Mine to yours, yours to mine. You gave me blue and I gave you yellow. Together we are simply green. You gave me what you did not have, and I gave you what I had to give. Together we made something greater from the difference.
I'd like to call Tavia Oslo and Debbie Klein up from the Stewardship Committee to give us a little update.
Good morning. Almost afternoon. As you know, Tavi and I are co-chairs for the Stewardship Committee, and this year our theme for stewardship has been connection, community, and commitment. And as we know, stewardship is our ability, each and every one here and people streaming in, it's our commitment to financially support our buildings, our staff, each other, and all the programs that this church has been able to provide us. Now, I want you all to know I am completely out of my comfort zone. This is the second time I've stood up in front, and I'm setting my little ears off, and canvassing also took me outside of my comfort bubble. But I had to make the commitment to do this because it was important to me to help support what we need to accomplish to continue to operate First Parish Brewster. Now, I want to thank all of you that I have canvassed with for allowing me into your homes. And when we had our stewardship advisor, he said, oh, take 20 to 30 minutes, you go in, you connect. Well, my 20 to 30 minutes turned into 2 hours, and it probably could have continued on. But what I learned from it is I made an incredible connection to those people that I canvassed with. So as a stewardship committee, we would like to thank everybody that has pledged so far. Majority of the people have increased their pledges, and we're very grateful for that. But we'd also would like to invite those of you who have not yet had the ability to pledge, to please pledge as soon as you're capable. Thank you.
Some people have actually not received a pledge card. We are doing another mailing tomorrow to those people, and you'll receive a pledge card, and we ask that you get that back to us as quickly as possible. Obviously, we'd like to wrap this up by the end of the first week in March so that the Finance Committee has a better sense of what we have available to us for next year. Just so that people know, our pledges so far this year range from $50 to $25,000. We have last year we had 186 pledges, and so far this year we have 86 pledges. Last year our total was 346,500, and this year already we're at 300,000 with only 86 pledges. So we have about 100 pledges to go. and about 30 or 40 of those people are people that we have not been able to reach in person, and so we will do the mailing. And we hope that we will make our goal of 432,000. If we do that, we will be able to operate at the same level that we're operating this year. If we don't, then I would assume that the Finance Committee and the board will have to make some tough decisions. But as you know, the pledge goes to fund everything. It funds our buildings, it funds our staff, it funds our program, it funds CYM, it funds social justice. Yes, we all do contribute to those things, and our volunteer system is incredible in this congregation. But we also know that we can't do it without the pledge money in place. So I ask you again, if you haven't received a pledge card, I will be in there near the food certificates. Please come and get a pledge card. If you want to talk to anybody this morning, there are a lot of people here. Bob Flanagan, Susan Smith. Who else is here that can, there, yep. People, raise your hands if you're willing to chat with people. There you go. So please look for one of them and chat about what this is about and what you need to know. Thanks very much, and I feel really upbeat about the fact that we're doing so much better and so many people have really raised their pledges this year. Thank you.
So each week, we have the practice of splitting our offering basket. Half of what is collected goes to the work of First Parish Brewster, and the other half goes to a worthy organization nominated by members of this congregation. Today's split plate is with Black Lives of Unitarian Universalists, or BLUE. BLUE is committed to expanding the power and capacity of Black UUs within Unitarian Universalism, providing support, information, and resources for Black Unitarian Universalists, and justice-making and liberation for Black people through our faith. There are several ways you can give today. You can text to give. The number is in your order of service, or you can donate on our website, or you can make a check out to FPBUU with split plate in the memo. However you choose to give today, thank you for your generosity. The offering will now be gratefully received.
You became who you become. You are here and yet you dream of being there, of being where you think the good life has begun. In every darkened hallway, every fallen dream, every battle lost and every shadow in between, bring you to your knees and closer to the reason. And there's no making cases, getting out or trading places. And there's no turning back, no, you are here. Who can say you made the choice in the matter of your birth, brought about that fateful day? You are here born with fire and desire. You're the only one who can stand in your own way. Every broken arrow, every hardened smile, every foolish gamble, and every lonely mile will bring you to your knees and closer to the reason. every seed that's growing, every sweet surrender to that silent knowing will bring you to your knees and closer to the reason. And there's no making cases for getting out or trading places. And there's no turning back. No, you are here. No, you are here.
In Any Event by Dorianne Lau. If we are fractured, we are fractured. Like stars bred to shine in every direction, through any dimension, billions of years since and hence. I shall not lament the human, not yet. There is something more to come. Our hearts a gold mine, not yet plumbed, an uncharted sea. Nothing is gone forever. If we came from dust and will return to dust, then we can find our way into anything. What we are capable of is not yet known, and I praise us now in advance.
This past year, during my sabbatical, I read Bell Hooks' wonderful book, All About Love, New Visions. It scratched open my brain into the meaning of love. I find it interesting that I never really gave much thought to defining love with words, written in a way that you and I could agree and say, yep, that sounds right. I was raised to believe that love is an action word, something that must be shown, not just spoken into being. It's curious how much we use this word, love, without a commonly accepted definition. In All About Love, Hooks explains that we often identify love as a feeling, but she warns against confusing cathexing with loving. Cathexing is the feeling of being drawn to someone and investing feelings or emotions in them. Although cathexing does include connection, it can also include harm dressed up to look like love. Love is much more complicated. It requires more of us than investment of feelings. Love is the building block of community. And for us here at First Parish Brewster, love is our doctrine. But what does this mean in a practical sense? How do we love each other? Do we share in each other's joys and successes? Do we make time for the tough conversations? And are we willing to just sit with another in struggle without trying to fix anything? There is no doubt that we as a community care for each other and those affected by the unfairnesses of the world. We see this when our caring committee delivers cookies and flowers to members who are housebound, or each week when we split our offering with other nonprofit organizations whose work aligns with our mission and values. When people are in need, FPBUU shows up, and it's a beautiful thing. But Hooks calls us deeper and points out that care is a dimension of love, but simply giving care does not mean we are loving. After much consideration, she accepts how Scott Peck defines love in The Road Less Traveled. He defines it as the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. Peck goes on by saying, to truly love, we must learn to mix various ingredients. Are you ready? Are you listening? Maybe get a pen. Care, affection, recognition, respect, communication, and trust, as well as honest and open communication. So as far as affection goes, you can't get very far in the door on Sunday morning without a warm smile or kind gesture. I think about recognition as our new member recognition ceremony, our Unsung Hero Award at our annual meeting in June, our memorial marker ceremony in late summer held in our memorial garden, and the tolling of the bells service each January, honoring those we love who are no longer with us. The next three ingredients, I think, really go together nicely: respect, commitment, and trust. I experience these qualities weaved through the life of this congregation by simple things like filling out room requests and sexton forms, and being observant and showing up to meetings on time, and cultivating trust to help us get through the hard times. Trust is built by respectfully showing up for each other and listening, especially when you don't agree. Committing to that which is larger than ourselves. So this leaves us with the last ingredients to be mixed in: honest and open communication. And some might see this as transparency, which certainly is important. But I want to talk to you today about a more radical component of love: complaining. Now, I understand this might seem the opposite of love, but hear me out. Complaining can affect our emotional state, work, and relationships. I recently listened to a fabulous podcast. Some of you might have heard me already talk about it. It's called How to Complain Productively on Hidden Brain. I encourage you all to check it out if you haven't already. The podcast episode explains that there are different types of complaining, and how complaining can help or harm depending on a few simple things within our control. First, there are two types of complaining. One is expressive complaining, which is what we do when we vent to one another. We aren't looking to get our problems solved. We just need to be heard. We want someone else to feel the injustice that we have experienced. The second type is called instrumental complaining, which can be used in a way that is intentional to make specific change. So, most of the time when we are complaining, we are simply looking to be agreed with, to know that at least one other person knows what we've been through. The problem lies is when we get stuck in complaining, like you saw with the Time for All Ages. Did you notice how I might calm down a little bit, and then as each person would, kind of get, it would be spoken again, I would get riled up and wound up again. But then the second time, when Twinks took the time to slow down and honestly be brave, saying something that I might not like, at least initially. That's the thing. We want to know we aren't alone and that others know what injustice has taken place, that life has been unfair to us, but that's a short-term want. The more important need is the effortful kind of love of nurturing one's own and another's spiritual growth. This love calls us to do what this podcast episode goes on to explain. We can reframe the situation so that another perspective might create understanding and compassion. We must learn to have open and honest communications. And guess what? Spoiler alert. We might get these communications wrong. We cannot control how the other person responds, but I believe we must be willing to hurt or be hurt to practice this meaningful kind of love. We have to trust in the commitment of the other person to stay in the conversation even when we don't agree with each other. This is purposeful and hard work. This leads me to another point the podcast makes. It is really important who you complain to. We are encouraged to be strategic in choosing people who are willing to disagree with us. This immediately resonated with me as I learned as a young person, and I remember complaining to my mom that she would always take the other person's side. Could she not just take my side once? But she was showing me how real love works. She was nurturing my spiritual growth. And as it turns out, I've nurtured this same love in my own children. It's good to surround ourselves with people who see things differently than us. Another aspect of complaining is, what is your goal? Are you just looking to vent, or do you want to make a change? This is one thing I try to establish with people who come to me complaining about something. I ask if they want to just be listened to, or if they would like another perspective. I don't have to fix anything, and sometimes just being heard is all we need to let go of whatever injustice we have experienced and move forward. And then sometimes we can't move forward. And this is when instrumental complaining can be beneficial. Let me give you an example. You get a pledge statement in the mail and notice that one of your donation checks was not listed. Now, the perfect scenario is that you would reach out to me and let me know, and then that our records don't match, and at which point I would look into the discrepancy and get back to you in a timely manner to resolve the issue. That sounds great, doesn't it? But let's just say you email me about your concern, but don't hear back from me for several days. Or maybe you hear back from me, but it's a vacation responder. And it says that I've taken off to Costa Rica to soak up the sun and natural beauty, and that I won't be back until next week. At this point, your frustration is directed at me. You happen to be playing pickleball with another congregant, and in the course of sharing, you expressed how upset you are at me being on vacation at this time when you really need to get this important document corrected. Now let us pause here for a second and think of this as pick your own adventure book. At this point, the person you are with can chime in about how they also found an error on their statement and can't believe that I'm on vacation again, and on the many ways that Karina has been unfair. Or they could choose a different adventure, one of bravery and wholeheartedness, one where they see the bigger picture and accept the many different parts we all play. Things become less black and white, and the gray becomes more visible. So back to First Parish Brewster. If we say that love is our doctrine, then aren't we also committed to not getting stuck in the complaints? As I explained already, the how and to who we complain matters. And as a community where people gather to open their hearts and grow their souls, there are plenty of challenging situations for us to practice. This is hard work, my friends, full of effort. So many of you know that First Parish Brewster is governed by a board of trustees that is elected by the congregation each June. Today, after the service, we will have our annual State of the Church and 6-month review here in the sanctuary and on Zoom. You will hear from our board president and our treasurer about how things are halfway through our church fiscal year. They will share with you openly about the challenges and joys that coexist within this community. The board is sometimes referred to as where the buck stops. And if you have an instrumental complaint, they may be where you need to go to make change. I also want to emphasize that just as it is the congregation that elects the board to govern, it is the congregation that is ultimately responsible for the health and longevity of the Society of First Parish Brewster. And in more ways than I could possibly share with you today, you, the congregation of this church, are showing up to do the hard work of love, both within our doors and beyond. One way I see this on display is the response to our recent stewardship campaign. We heard from Tavia and Debbie about how that's going, and I want to point out the early successes of the fact that this, in my experience here, is the best indicator that we're on track. What we have in so far has been just amazing. This is an abundant time at First Parish Brewster, and so much to be grateful for. And yet, there remains devastating injustices throughout the world that we can feel powerless to address. So often when we are complaining, we are looking at whatever is happening as out of our control or happening to us. So simply agreeing with someone who is complaining can seem like the easiest option initially. But when someone reframes something for us, they are giving us a way forward, something we can do to change the situation, giving us back some control. It can be empowering to see that there is something that we can do to fix the problem at hand. Ultimately, it's not about fixing anything. It's about practicing the kind of love that slows down and asks questions that might uncover something not initially seen. It's a curious kind of love. There's one more point that Peck makes in The Road Less Traveled that is important to today's topic of love. He talks about how it takes time to fix things, that if any of us simply put the time in, we could fix the thing. But then there's all these reasons that we don't take the time. So what does this mean at First Parish Brewster UU? What kind of time do we take to solve our problems? Are we willing to see our problems and accept that we're in it together? I don't have the answers or a checklist of solutions for you today, but I do have an invitation. Show up for each other. Be brave. Risk getting hurt and risk forgiveness, because I do believe it's the only true way to love. Thank you.
I invite you to rise in body or spirit and take the insert that's pink today for our closing song, Brave. And I'm going to bravely admit that I really got carried away when I was writing those I just want to see you. So it's 3, I just want to see you, and then you say, I want to see you be brave. I wrote 4 of them. You know. Yeah. You can be amazing, you can turn a phrase into a weapon or a drug. You can be the outcast or be the backlash of somebody's lack of love. Or you can start speaking up. Nothing's gonna hurt you the way that words do when they settle neath your skin. Kept on the inside and no sunlight, sometimes the shadow wins. But I wonder what would happen if you say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave with what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave, just want to
That was great, thank you. I hope you heard something today that caught your attention and sparked your curiosity. The work of love is hard and messy at times, but is what the world calls us to, and it is meaningful work indeed. I want to leave you today with some words from Mary Oliver's poem, Wild Geese. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clear blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harshly and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things. Let us practice a love that allows room for conflict and missteps, a love that might just break us open if we let it. Be not afraid to love, my friends, for I believe that it is the only way to grow our souls. Thank you.